Okay, so we just finished the wiring on it. The wiring's pretty self-explanatory, other than just being a pest, like all wiring. It really isn't difficult to understand their configuration. Here you can see that's the positive and ground coming off of the winch there, comes down, and you got a connector, universal connector here, and then you can see off the front of the truck. Now I am going to take and electrical tape those two wires all up, simply because when I store it, it'll be stored outside, and over time the sun will beat that down. But I wanted to show you the wiring before I tape it up. But that's the wiring off there. Then that connector will connect into that connector. I'm also going to electrical tape this part here, and when I'm not using this, I have this set up, I can just push it right inside the grill here, and it wraps up down inside between the radiator and the radiator support, and not really touching anything, but I just left it out here so I could tape it up. That hooks up there. Then you come up and you got your positive and ground hooks up here. They give you a breaker. My Toyota hood's fairly close to the battery, so I used their breaker mount, hooked it up, and just bent it over so it doesn't hit on my hood. And then you got your ground over here, and then I just wire tied everything up. And then that control box that I showed you guys is right there. I first mounted it upright. Well, I forgot you have to plug the plug in, and the hood wouldn't close. So I undid it, turned it around. They give you 4 bolts, or they give you 2 big wire ties. I had to cut their wire ties and use my own because I mounted it so it would hit the hood. But I didn't want to drill the firewall. There's really no real good place because that's up too high to get into work and stuff. So I just used the canister there, wire tied it to it. I'm not sure if you can see the plug. Just plugs right into it there. And then I came into the firewall. Let's see, can I bend down? Came in the firewall and used one of their rubber mounts. I actually had to snip it, cut it, and then reset it back in. And that's your control box, and your positive and ground that comes out, over, out, and down to here comes out of that box. And then your positive and ground to your battery comes out of that box, and then you plug into your inside switch. And then that cable I just showed you is the inside switch. I was kind of disappointed because they don't give you a bracket or anything. Oh, hang on here. Tangled up. They don't give you a bracket or anything to mount the switch anywhere on the dash. So I'm assuming since they went to that older style switch, or I mean newer style switch from the one they used to have in the door pillar. I got a light in here in case you guys are wondering where the light's coming from. I'm assuming they just expected you to hold it in your hand, but I did pull out the brass screw in this controller, and it is a long one. It's like a double-sided one. And what I did was I ran it through the floor down below, and then I tied it up under the dash, ran it up underneath of here. Obviously you have to have yourself a little bit of cable, and since this is a 5-speed, I wanted it on the shifter if I could. If not, I was going to try to put it on the dash someplace. And what I did was I took a couple of rubber style mounts that you would normally use, trying to move around here for you, that you'd normally use to do like hard plumbing and stuff like that. This light's killing you. And I tweaked them around, bent them around, got some little screws that would fit in here. I'm moving on you, laying down upside down, and I mounted them to the back side. Well, it worked really cool. So, and those are, you know, dirt cheap. Actually just had them in the shop, but they're 50 cents a piece or whatever. And then they were just Oops, sorry about that. They were just normal machine screws. Here's the machine screws coming from the other side. Now, if I can hang this light in here somewhere. I'm going to use my left hand because I'm in the passenger seat, as you can tell, but I can have the palm of my hand on here, and the way I set this up is out on their switch is down and in is up. Well, for most of our human minds, that'll work because when you push down, that's out and that'll drop the blade, and when you pull in, that's up and that'll raise the blade. So down is out and back is up. And you can see even when I'm shifting between like first, second, or reverse, I can have my hand on the shifter and still be running my plow at the same time. I'm in first there. If I come over and come to reverse, you can see my finger's still on the switch. Come over, back to first, I never had to leave it. So that's basically the wiring. That's what's under the hood, and that's how I did the switch. Now we got to do the mount kit. Okay, so now we got the actual mount kit specific to the 91 Toyota truck. That came in, and I do have to say that there's a lady that works at Snowbear. I'm not going to give her name, but you know who you are if you're watching this, and it's supposed to snow tonight, tomorrow, next day, and the following day, I believe. So you know who you are. Thanks a lot. If you're lucky enough to get her, you'll be happy. But this is my mount kit. Let's do an unboxing of it. You guys already seen the plow. Everything's wired. And this would be the next thing, is to put the specific brackets on the truck. So let's see what's in this bad boy. It's plenty heavy. Distractions. Snowbear. Oh, that one ain't coming out first. Woo! Some beefy brackets, I'd say. There's a bracket. Don't ask me where it goes. Powder coating's peeled. Another bracket. By the way, I got my gorgeous little wife out here. I think I said that earlier. And I got my puppy dog out here with me. And we got the big pop of wood stove going. And it hasn't been a bad project. See, the powder coating's peeled off here and it's quite a bit laying. And I'll see if she can show you. See it fall out of there. Guess it doesn't like smacking into each other when UPS ships it. But another bracket there. Another bracket there. Obviously those are side specific. This looks like possibly the twin to that one, so it must be side specific. And if you remember in my little supplemental video, if you look on the tube, I showed you that universal bracket that I'd left out on the unboxing. Actually, I didn't leave it out, I edited it out. That has to come into play here too, because it's not installed at this point on the truck. But yeah, this would be another side specific twin to this one, and twin specific ones to that, and then a bag of nuts and bolts. You got your nuts and bolts, 2 smaller brackets, 2 larger brackets. They're twin, obviously side specific. Your Snowbear app. And we did the instructions on the truck step by step. So since I was putting this on YouTube, sometimes I'll take shortcuts, and I've built a few things and I can usually get through it. But I actually did it step by step, and I'm showing it to you guys actually how it was in the manual. The only thing I'm a little baffled about, my wife walks around here, specifically in the book, they show that the motor on the winch will be to the left side of the truck, the driver's side of the truck. and their sticker NWB 3000 winch, the sticker is upside down. So if you had that winch flipped over to the other side of the truck, that sticker would be right side up, but the directions specifically show you to put it on that side, so that's a little baffling. But anyway, here's the instructions. It's getting kind of late tonight, but I think I'm going to try to swindle the old lady into helping me move on forward with it, and maybe we can run this thing still tonight. Back with you. Okay, so we got the truck specific mounting kit on. As you can see here, it goes back. There's some brackets that mount. These are actually the brackets that come down off the frame, and then there's brackets that mount into the back. This is the universal mount here in the front that is going to hook into the female part of the plow. And then, I don't know if you can see because I'm crawling around on the floor, but oh, I just smacked the camera with the light for you. There's the mount that comes off of the back of the chassis, comes up to the front, and then you hook in the drop down ones and then to the universal mount. You also, on the Toyotas, you keep your tow hooks and use them. Again, this is being mounted on a 91 Toyota four-wheel drive extended cab, but that's basically your mount set up there. So I think we're about ready to hook up the plow. Hope you guys can see that. I'm laying on the ground. I showed you the brackets in the other one. If you can see here, let me throw this light up. Can't get any help here. See if I can zoom this back in. Yeah, you can't see nothing. But that's the driver's side there. What I would say is, if you go to do this, pay close attention to the mount instructions. The instructions are given by how you're looking at it from the front, left side, right side, instead of how us automotive people do things, which is typically driver's side is your left side, passenger side is your right side. I'm trying to hold the light for you guys and zoom on that back bracket. That's the back bracket. One bolt goes through. They give you all new hardware. So, and then it comes up and it mounts to the universal cross member with those bolts. Then the drop down bracket mounts up to where your tow hooks are, and then it mounts to the universal bracket. So there you go. See if we can hook this thing up. Alright everybody, we got the Snowbear 82-inch snow plow mount kit, or original correct bracket kit for the truck, all on the truck. The plow all pre-assembled and put together, and all the wiring done, and this thing is done. So I can't show it to you because I just have a little camera, so I'm sure you guys want to see it.